What's going on, guys and girls? We're here playing more of The Witness, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to complete the Desert Ruin trophy. Now these are all hidden trophies and achievements, so this is to unlock the Desert Ruin laser. So we have just completed the symmetry laser, and that's the one just over there, just giving you an idea of where exactly we are on the island. And then we're just going to head down here. So this is the desert area, and what we want to do is we want to start completing some of these puzzles. So for this one, it's all about the light. So how the light is going to be reflecting off surfaces, and then you're going to be able to see like the paths. So someone's like smudged it onto the path where people have drawn it on, and then you can actually see, so if you move into the right position, you can actually see the light reflecting off the panel, and then you can actually start drawing it. So I'm going to be going through this entire thing. I'm going to be completing the puzzles, but I'm also going to be trying to show you how to complete them. I'm going to try and explain it as best I can, so that if you want to just have this as a backup, so that if you do something wrong or you can't figure out a certain part, then you can just come back and check out how to figure that one puzzle out. Or what you can do is you can watch me do this whole thing. I don't really recommend that. It's not the way the game is meant to be played. Now this one here is one of the ones where you have to move the panel. So the game basically doesn't always give you the easiest option. It will try and teach you a new thing. So this one is teaching you that you can move some of these panels, and that allows you to get a better look at this panel. So you can actually see you saw the first part of it, and now you have to try and connect the dots and remember it. Like I said before, if you just grab a pen and paper and just draw them out a little bit, that might help. Or what I was doing was just getting my phone out and taking a picture, so that if I started forgetting what it looked like, I could just look at my phone and just see the picture. So the next one we're going to be doing are the ones up here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get into a position where we can get the glare, and that's going to reveal the pathway that we have to take. We have to draw in, and you can actually draw these from down here. You can just go into the drawing mode and start drawing lines from quite far away, as far as you can see the lines. You can actually start drawing it. It does get a bit hard to control it because you're further away, and so the cursor moves quicker compared to if you're closer up. And so what we want to do is we want to just get in position so we can see them. You can draw them from down there, or what you can do is you can come up here and you can draw them. I know all the pathways, I've remembered them, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to place them in here. So this one is just that one, so this is the left hand side panel, and the middle panel is just a straight down. I'm pretty sure, is it down? Yep, just a straight down. And the next one is kind of like on an angle heading towards the center, so you just want to draw that over there. And that just unlocks all of the panels that we're covering the next one that we have to do. So we just head down here, and you can see it just up there. So what you want to do is you just want to get really close to it, right beneath it, and you'll start seeing the pathway right there. And if you just walk around a little bit, you can actually see where you start and where you finish. And we're just going to draw it from here, because you have to draw it from somewhere. And there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next one, which is just down here. And what you need to do is you need to turn this one. So like the other one, we had to move it out of the shadow. This one has to be turned so you can actually get in the right position so you can see it. Now for you to be able to see this puzzle, you actually have to, while it's turning, it's not actually going to stop at the right position. It's just going to keep turning and turning and turning. So while it's turning, you want to just head up to this vantage point up here. You can stand on either side of this like platform up here, and then you can just wait until it gets in the right position, and the sun will start to reveal exactly where the path is that you have to take. So I'm just going to make sure that you guys can see exactly what it is, and just letting you know you can draw it from all the way back here. It just is a bit harder to control because the perspective, your cursor seems to move faster even though it's not. It's just your puzzle is smaller. So there we go, that is the pattern we have to draw out. So that's what we're going to do from up here. And once we've done that, that will unlock the door to actually get below this ruin. So what we're going to do is we're just going to head to the back area just over here, and you can actually just follow the cables just like the other one. You can follow the cables and it will show you exactly where you're going to need to go, and it's just going to unlock this panel. Very simple puzzle, this one, just to unlock the door. I don't understand why it just didn't unlock the door, but they obviously wanted to just add another panel on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the next one. So there are 2 panels up here. You can do either or first. So we're just going to start off with the left hand side one. So as you can see half of it, and we actually need to turn a light on so we can see the other half. So if you just turn this middle light on, you can figure it out by playing around with the lights and be like, okay, so this one does that one and this one does that one. So if you just do that middle one, you're just going to be able to see this pathway, and you can see the other half there. And now you just have to connect all the dots and just remember exactly what you could see from the other angle. So once you've done that, that will unlock one half of the panel, and we need to unlock the other half of that bottom panel, the one on the floor. So we just need to put the light in the right position to see this other panel. So you just need to get in the right position. So just stand over here, get pretty close to it, and you can start seeing the exactly where it is. And if you just walk over this side, you can see the other section. Now you do have to start like connecting the dots in the shadow part, but there is only one option, like one pathway for these ones, so you have to get it right. You'll never have to do any guesswork. You just have to start connecting the dots in your mind, saying, well, it can't go this way if that part, is colored in, kind of thing. So now what we have to do is we have to actually start remembering this bottom one. This is where my phone came in handy. I just took pictures of each section and then just started putting it together in my head, or you can start drawing it down, writing it down, and you can start getting an idea of where you have to go. So you have to actually look at all 3 locations, and it will give you enough information to figure it out. So this is the last light. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to draw the pattern. So you actually start at the top corner, and we're just going to do these little zigzags, and that is the pattern. So like I said before, I'm going to go through this entire thing, and I'm going to be showing you how to solve the problems, and not just, I'm not just going to go through and put the problems in. You'll be like, okay, that's how you do it. I'm going to try and explain as much as I can of how to do it. This one right here, you can see in the reflection, you can actually see the pathway. So remember, it is a reflection, so it is going to be opposite. So, the bottom on the reflection is actually at the top. So just remember on the actual panel, just remember stuff like that. And you can actually see it in the reflection as well. So it gives you a bit of a hint to help you out if you can actually see the reflection at the same time. Some of them you can't. So this one over here, you just get into the right position. You can see the pathway right there. And so that's what we're going to draw in here. I actually went the wrong way quite a few times because I was like, wait, that's a reflection. If you just watch the reflection on that one, it's very easy to do. The next panel unlocks is just over here. So to see the reflection on that one, you just have to come around to the back here, and you can see it right there. So we're just going to draw that in. And I'm going a bit slow because sometimes I want to make sure that you guys can see it, and sometimes it's just like, I got to think about it, which way's up and which way's down kind of thing. And this one right here is in 2 parts. So you can see half the reflection there, and then you can see the other half there. And so you just have to put that together in your head and put it on the panel and just flip it so that it works with this panel. So you start down the bottom right here, and you go up and keep going up, and then you come down in the middle, and then you go out to the side, and then you come down, and right at the bottom is the exit. So from here, what we're going to do is there is one more panel just on this side, and what we're going to do is you have to get onto this side of the pillar, and you'll see the reflection there, and the pillar is actually blocking, the one that's fallen over is blocking your view of the actual platform, of the actual what's it called, panel, and you cannot draw it from here. I actually just wanted to check that you couldn't draw it from there, so you have to remember that, or like I said, take a picture or draw it down, and so that you can draw it on here. So from here, what we want to do is that will unlock the door, or at least unlock a panel to unlock the door. I can't remember. Yeah, just unlocks the panel, and we just have to go through this door, and we're going to go deeper into the ruins. So it's kind of like a pyramid chamber sort of thing set up. Now this one gets quite complicated. You have to think about the reflections, but then there is also the ability to move the water level. So we're going to lower the water level using that panel. You can also raise it back up when it's lower. There's the second panel below it, and that will give you the ability to see that. So if you just look at that one, that will give you the reflection for the second panel, and then we just have to wait for it to get further down, and you can start seeing the pathway for the first panel. So that's the shape you have to now draw on the first panel. So remember, it's a reflection, so just keep that in mind, and we're just going to go from there up like this, up to the top, and that is that one. And because we already looked at the other one, we're just going to draw it in. Otherwise you would have to wait for it to come all the way back up. I think I do wait for it to come up, and we're just going to do that. So that is how you raise the water level, and we're just going to draw that in. So we're just going to wait for it until it gets back up to the top, I think, or we're just going to start drawing it in because it takes a little while. And that is the shape you have to draw. It's like an N shape. And that unlocks this panel. Now this panel, you have to have the water level, I believe, all the way at the top, or really close to the top. And then what you want to do is you want to walk to behind it. Now it seems counterintuitive, but just the way that the light angles work, because the panel's on such an acute angle, you actually have to have this weird position. So you just let it go down, let the water go down. You can actually do it earlier. You don't have to wait for the water to reach the highest point before you can make it go down. And then you can see the panel from this angle down here. So you just have to take a good look at it, and then now you have to actually think about it in terms of, you know, it's a reflection, but then you have to also come around to this side, and you have to now do it. So you kind of have to flip it twice. So even I make the mistake and I start drawing it on this side, just flip it onto the other side, like reverse it, and you'll get that same pattern, and you'll get the right answer. So just go into that corner there, and you'll get that panel completed. Now I do put a cut in here because I get lost. I can't remember exactly where to find the next reflection. So what I want to do is I just cut that out so that this video is not me wandering around. And what we're going to do is we want to raise the water. So depending on where the water is, if it's high or low, you want to start raising it or lowering it, because around about halfway you can actually see the pathway in the reflection just over there. So if you stand on this side of the room and looking over that way, you can actually start seeing it right there. So, and remember, there are some shadows on there, so try and don't get confused with the shadows and the reflection. You just have to make sure you only get the reflection. So this is the pathway you have to take, and I believe if the water level is high, like it's already up to this point, you can't start drawing on it, so you have to have the water level below the panel before you can start drawing on it. But as soon as you start drawing on it, I think it's okay. So this is the second to last panel you have to complete. So here is half of the solution. If you go on to the other side, I believe you can see the other half, but I already know the pattern, the solution, so I'm just going to start drawing that in. You can raise it or lower it, and I think that also helps it out a bit, makes it easier to see the full solution. But this is basically it, and that is it. So what we want to do is we want to go to the last puzzle, and that is over there. So what you have to do is you have to lower the water, and I believe it's about near the bottom of the water level. You can actually start seeing the solution. So you just want to stand around this area. You can actually activate the water going up and down from this panel over here, but I decided to go into the other panel because I just didn't think about this one. So we are going to see it right there. So if you stand about here, you can actually see the solution. That's half of it, and you actually have to go around and see the other half of it. So now what we want to do is we want to raise the water. So as long as you've got that in your mind, you know, take a mental image of it, or take an actual photo, or draw it down, and then you want to come over here and you want to get the second part of the solution. Now some of it is a bit missing, so you actually have to start thinking about, okay, so if this one goes up to here, it must have to come down in the shadow or something like that to connect to the other one. So it doesn't show you the entire thing, but it shows you enough of it for you to be able to figure it out. So that is the second set of the solution, and now you have to just draw it in. So starting from the top right hand corner, what you want to do is you just want to come down to the bottom, and then you go up to the top on an angle, and then come down to halfway, have a gap, and then go up and then come down and then up on that angle again and then to the finish line, and that is that pattern or that pathway. So that is going to unlock this door, and we're going to head through it now. Now this is the last section for the desert, and so once you've done this and gone through the elevator, you will get the trophy and get the laser. So what we want to do is we want to just look at this panel over here, so you can actually see the reflection. If you just move side to side, you can see the pathway. So you start on the top one, you come down to the middle, and then just come down again, and that. So it's a pretty simple one. The bottom panel is very similar. It's just, you know, it's the reflection's going the other way because it's a concave instead of a convex. And then we just want to draw that in. So you can, if you're getting stuck a little bit, you can just move around and you can actually see it. This one right here, you can see half of the solution on the top, and you see the other half of the solution in the reflection. So if you stand in the right spot, you can actually basically see the whole thing almost, and you just have to try and think about it as you're going through it. So this is the solution for this one. So when it gets down to the bottom, you start looking at the bottom part of it, so the reflection, and just if you look at the top, you can see the other part. That will unlock this panel. So it actually unlocks a little bit of the elevator panel. Now you have to do the other parts. So what you need to do is you need to do this one over here. So you can see the solution in the reflection down here, but you can't actually draw it on the panel on this side because of the wooden parts. So I'm just going to show you this. The wooden parts get in the way, so you can't actually draw it from down here. What you need to do is you need to take a mental image or an actual photo of that reflection, and then you just have to place it on here. Now remember, you're now doing it on the other side of the panel. This is one of the only panels that actually is see-through, and you can do it from either side. And what you want to do is you just want to place that pattern in there, and that is the shape you need to do, and that will unlock the next panel. So this one, what it does, it unlocks the back of the panel. So what you can do is you can actually raise it up, and when it gets to the right point, you will be able to see the reflection, the pathway in the reflection. As it comes up, the light will get in the right angles, and it's a pretty simple one. All you need to do is do that, and that is the last panel to complete. So once you've done that, you just need to go into the elevator. So we'll just walk over to the elevator. So, you know, those two panels, those two sets of panels is what unlocks this. And then you can just do that, and it will raise you up to the top. And once you get to the top, the laser will start popping out, and you will get the trophy or achievement if you're playing on PC. I'm pretty sure this is available on PC. And so this is where you are. You've moved around quite a bit under the ground, and you just want to walk out here, and if you turn around, you can actually see it happen, and there's the trophy. So that's all I'm going to really do for this video. I'm just going to let this finish setting itself up. Oh wait, there is another trick to this one. For you, this laser to actually start pointing to the mountain, we need to go into the town area and just move another panel, just a little mirror, so that it will actually start reflecting to the mountain, because it can't actually hit the mountain from this angle. Even though it probably could, they just had to make it a little bit difficult. And I believe this is the only one that does this, so it's kind of strange, but you know, that's what they decided to do. So what we're going to do is, that is heading towards the town, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually head that way. I believe I start running pretty quickly, just chunk on the run button. So on PlayStation 4, if you hold L2, it is a run function, so you don't have to worry about just dawdling around too slowly. So if you just head towards the town, so if you just head this way, you'll get to a point where you actually see the laser going past a building, and there's a little mirror up here that you just have to turn around so that it is reflecting the light towards the mountain. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to head up this stairwell right here and do this. You can do this later on if you want to. You don't have to do it right now, but we're just going to do it right now because it's part of the desert laser basically. So just this panel down here, what you want to do is you want to just draw it a line like that, and it will just turn around. You actually want to draw the next line up from that one that I just did, as I just couldn't remember exactly which one you want to do. It's very simple. You just draw a line and it will just turn to that angle, And so once you get the right angle, you actually see it just pointing at the mountain. So as you can see, it's not quite there. So I just do the next one up, and it will start pointing towards the mountain right there. And that's all you have to do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have now been able to complete all of the desert puzzles. And now it's time for me to say, see you guys and girls, and see you in the next episode.